Anyway, welcome to the podcast, everybody.
I'm recording.
Okay. Well, look, we'll start, and then we'll just go from here. Everybody, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Pagan, and this is Dan, my co-host, as usual.
Oh, are we recording now? Okay, hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. This is just how we're rolling now. Okay, I'm putting you all on the spot. Joining us today is our lovely recurring guests, Michael and Lisa. Hello, everybody.
Hello. We do
Michael,
like
you've
it
been on the
raw,
show before.
So.
Actually, you haven't been like. It's not too long since you've been on the show last.
Yeah, It was episode 49
With Emmanuel, who was on last
You know
week.
the episode number?
Oh, really?
That's impressive.
It's my episode. I was on it.
A lot of guests probably don't know their own episode. That's pretty great.
I mean, after
Yeah.
Are we 66?
That's
We're on
pretty
episode
special,
66.
isn't it? To have a guest be like, "That's my episode."
Yes.
Like the meaning
Yeah.
behind that for you.
oh,
you know?
it's like I said several times in that episode. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this, and I was nervous as hell at first, but now like in the group chat on Twitter, I was like, okay, let's do it. I was literally
Let's go.
waiting for the link to get in here.
I was like, has this
Let's
guy
go.
had too much Red Bull today, or like what's going
Yeah.
Me? No.
He just woke up, probably.
Coffee.
Mm.
Coffee, very nice, very nice. The Iron Man mug, suitable. Hey, there
Oh,
he is.
cool.
There he is.
Well, welcome
And
back.
Lisa, welcome to the show. This is your
Thank you.
episode.
And
This is
66.
my episode. Well, six
episode.
is my lucky number, so that's good.
Hey, that's so
Perfect.
cool.
Yeah, it's double 6. That's
Coincidence.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I don't know
Actually-
anybody who else. So is it just 6 that's your number? Your lucky number?
Yeah, but everything was 6 in it. It's cool. With the Deadpool, I always do 16,
Mm.
for example.
Oh, I see. Oh,
My kinda
yeah. I
lucky.
always see you vote 16.
Yeah.
I never think like, oh.
I got you.
Okay,
That's
fair.
kind of like my number. I usually do is like 23 for some reason. It's just
Yeah.
23 is
Yeah,
my
it's
number.
just- Yeah. Just
I don't
Depends
know
on
why.
the mood you're in and the level that, like, if you know the level, you're like, oh, it's gonna be a high one. It's gonna be 23.
Then I'm gonna do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to gauge my Deadpool guesses based on
The level.
the level, but
Yeah.
I haven't played these games in years, and it's in and out in my memories. I'm like, I mean, maybe he'll dominate this part. I don't know.
Nolan
He
has a
has,
really good
surprisingly, though.
talent
Yeah.
for playing a level that we expect him to not die a lot on and die a bunch, and then a level we expect him to die a lot on, he doesn't die very much at all. And
Yeah.
we're like,
He was killing Crash.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was
The other
killing
day.
it.
It
was-
was.
Yeah,
was
what is
insane.
all
I
that
was
about?
like,
When they
Christ.
played
What the
Crash
fuck?
Warped, and then he was like, oh, don't do the underwater level, it's pretty hard. And then he like aced it. I was like, oh shit, that
Drew
was...
was just, oh,
I am
okay.
Oh.
surprised, French.
Maybe Drew is just bad at underwater levels.
Could be.
ooh, he said it, Drew.
Reflecting.
My
Whoa.
favorite level in Donkey Kong Country is the underwater level.
I love the underwater music in Donkey Kong Country.
Dude,
It's
I-
so
I
good.
don't know.
Dude, I
So good.
literally found on YouTube a 10-hour
A mix.
stream of that song, and I listened to the whole thing.
What?
Have you ever heard the remix
Oh.
version of it by there's a group, I forget what they're called, but they have a whole remix album of that whole Donkey Kong Country music, and the one for the underwater level is so freaking good. I have
Yeah,
the entire
definitely.
OST of Donkey Kong on my computer. I listen to it all the time.
The lava level in
Mm.
Donkey Kong 2 was another good one.
Yeah.
Another one of my favorites.
Never
It's
played
it's
that
easily the
Oh,
best
yeah.
like video game like chiptune
Me and Lisa.
music. It's so good.
You know, it really
I
is.
will have to look it up. They've never
I
played it
will
on the
play
show
it
either.
for you
Donkey
right
Kong,
now.
Yeah. I
I
wonder
think
when-
so.
Okay. Well, so just what was it on?
Donkey Kong? We're talking about the
Yeah.
Super Nintendo game.
Okay.
Oh.
I've played Donkey Kong on the Game Boy Color.
Yeah, Donkey Kong
That's mine.
Country was the Super Nintendo game that was made by Rare. It wasn't
Yeah.
Nintendo that made it.
Yeah, that long ago.
Yeah.
Whoa. That long ago, huh? Well, we all know like Dan's ancient. So
Oh yeah.
He's definitely in his 60s. He just looks really
Yeah.
well for it. Dan remembers
Moisturizer.
Pong.
Nolan's tip.
Moisturizer.
Uncle Noly.
Yeah, exactly. Uncle Noly. He knows the secret of youth. I don't know
It's
where
called
he's getting
being
that
an
youth.
introvert and staying indoors playing video games.
See, that's sunlight.
Does
That's
that
bad
help?
for you.
Yeah.
It's that sunlight. That sunlight's
Damn. I
aging.
should play more games.
That's it. Oh God.
If you want a clue,
If there's one takeaway from this show, it's play more video games so you can stay young forever.
both of
Exactly.
I have two brothers. Both of them are starting to bald, and they are outside people, and I'm not.
Ah.
You have two brothers?
Oh yeah. Have we
Have
never
you ever
discussed this?
mentioned that to me before?
Just
I don't
two.
know.
I don't think you've ever mentioned having siblings before.
I know we've talked about your brother before.
That's gonna
Because
be
he's
really
your
bad
twin.
if there's like several episodes of the podcast that he'll like mention them. But I don't ever remember. I always thought you were a single child for some reason. I don't know why.
No, I'm the middle child. I have
Oh,
an
the
older
middle
brother and a younger
child.
brother.
Oh, okay,
That's the
that
best
You're like,
job.
okay. That explains it.
Explains a
child
lot.
syndrome instead of only child syndrome. Okay, never
I'm-
mind.
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest?
I've got one brother and two sisters.
Oh, wow.
Oh, right. So you're the oldest among those two. Who's the youngest?
My sister Amanda, she's 23,
Hmm.
How old are you?
30.
Okay. I was gonna be like, how does the 7-year gap? Wow.
I'm the youngest.
How
Wow,
old
you're
do I
like
look?
32
since we're-
years younger than me, so
You actually, yeah, exactly. You look younger than 30.
Oh, well, thank you. No, I looked a lot younger in the episode I was in before because I made the very stupid mistake of shaving.
mm.
I
I will say that's how I felt when I shaved for Drew's episode of the podcast because I didn't want to try to compete with his beard, and then I shaved and I was like, I shouldn't have done
No.
that.
Yeah, you look so much younger than him.
Drew,
True.
bring it on. I am not getting rid of this thing again. Ever.
you hold up. So that was episode 49, and this is like 66. You've grown that since then.
Oh,
Holy
yeah.
shit, that's
I
impressive.
haven't
like 3
trimmed or
months.
shaved since. I trimmed the stash because I
Sure.
kept chewing on it. Like I'd take a bite of something and then
Oh no.
like I'd feel this little tug in my lip and I'm like, I have hair in my mouth and it's not cool.
Oh God.
So I trimmed the
Yeah.
mustache, but everything else has just
You
been
get that
going.
mustache pomade and just like, rip. That's why they do the curl.
Yeah, little girl.
I thought they were just
Excellent.
trying to be
That looks
fancy.
cool.
Just adds
Fancy.
an extra bit of whimsy to your
French
mustache.
also.
That's
Yeah,
that's too fancy for me. I'm
It's posh. It's very posh. Right, well, let's move on to the guest questionnaire. I think, Michael, you had answered most of these before anyway, but we'll throw some out to you too. Let's start with Lisa. Where are you from, Lisa?
I'm from the Netherlands. Well, actually, people don't know because I'm from everywhere.
Yeah, right.
You're from everywhere? Are you from elsewhere? No.
Yeah, I'm from
Where-
elsewhere.
where's everywhere?
No, I'm from the Netherlands. It's a kind of a joke in Zoom.
It's a running joke
Zoom
that we
chat.
have in the
Yeah.
Zoom replayer Zoom.
Is there
Yeah.
a reason for the running joke? Is it like because you can't discern her accent, or
I don't know actually anymore.
Is it
I
Aaron?
put like flags behind me, and then someone commented. I think Aaron commented on it, saying like I was from Russia or something.
oh, I see.
And then
So you're just from
just-
everywhere.
yeah, I'm
That's fair.
yeah, each country each week different country.
And it was actually kind of funny on Thursday. She was like, yeah, in Yugoslavia where I was born. And then it was like 4 minutes later, she was like, and then in Russia where I was born. She
Exactly,
kept it going.
Yeah, people don't know
That's
anymore
fantastic.
where I'm from.
If you keep the bit going, that's just the best thing. I feel like somebody else creates the bit and then you keep it going is fantastic.
Yeah, it's like Nolan
I'm
talked about on
waiting
the
for-
show. Like you ride that bit till your father's like, that's
Yeah,
enough.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I'm waiting for like Richard McGonagall to actually say something like a bit murderous. Like, you're like, aha,
A bit
he's
murderous.
he's in.
He's
We
waiting
wrote
for
him in.
stomp on the floor and quiet down there.
I feel like he has. He definitely has made that joke before, and then no one's cracked up. Whereabouts are you, Michael?
Virginia, U.S.
Oh. How
I
did
feel
I
like
not
I
know
know where that is.
I don't know, New Yorker. I don't know how you didn't know.
What?
I don't know why I thought you were out on the West Coast for some reason. I don't know why.
No, I wouldn't.
I know your
No.
EST too. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, no, California finally buckled. We're
Yeah.
We
Turns out
switched.
they're all on EST now.
one time zone. That's it, except for
No,
Texas.
only California. California is EST now, but everything else is still Pacific time.
Well, eventually
Yeah,
California.
it just
To make it
swaps
as
the whole
confusing
thing.
as possible.
Eventually California's gonna break off and circle the globe, and then will be EST. So
That's fair. That's fair. I also get this like really odd image that like California seems to be a world apart from the rest of the states.
Yeah.
Is this an image that is true? Like,
it's because it's
Do you
where the
think
rich
that-
people go.
What
Yeah,
do you
I
mean
kinda
by a
think the
world
same
apart
thing.
from everything else?
I just feel like it seems to be like a different culture. Like whenever I
Yeah.
hear other people from the states that are not from California talk about California, it's as if it's just like, it's almost as if it's not even part of America anymore. It's just a world apart.
I guess it's an experience thing because I'm from New York, but I've lived in California.
Mm.
And I think because I've lived there, like the mysticism is gone. Because to me, California is just another place. And I don't think of it any differently. At least not like I
Yeah.
used to. Because probably a lot of people think of California like, oh, Hollywood. That's where all the movie stars live.
Yeah.
But that's like a teeny tiny, itty bitty little portion of California.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
true.
LA.
Yeah.
That's like my image of California.
Yeah, same.
Like the
it
movies.
seems to be where everybody goes to get famous. Or
All the
for
actors are
movies.
there.
The Offspring music videos don't help.
Mm.
Like they have a song called "Cruise in California," and it's. I
Oh,
mean,
hot.
the video is just like all these, beautiful women in like wearing close to nothing, just like rollerblading up and down the beach, and it's like. So everyone
That's-
thinks that that's all of California.
Yeah, it's not at all.
I mean, that should be out. California's like, come to California advert
Yeah.
because everybody be like, well, damn, maybe we should go. It looks great.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been to California for like a period of 1.5 days.
Okay. What part?
1.5 days? Why?
Like LA,
Sure,
the
sure.
little
Oh,
LA.
okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really short.
Yeah.
My mom was an air hostess, and she flew like she was going to go to LA, and then when you do a long haul like that over 10 plus hours, you have to have a break in between your flights because you can't
Like
just
an
hop on a flight
overlay,
home.
overnight kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, so she had to stay overnight, and we stayed the night we arrived. The following night, and then we got back on the plane the following morning. So really, like we had the night we arrived, the full day on like say a Saturday, and then we left Sunday morning. So
right.
we had like a day and a bit in LA to like sort of explore it, and we just hired a car, and it was fucking cool. But it was a really short
Yeah.
trip. Like we
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
really do anything. We just got on the car and drove everywhere because air conditioning.
Mhm.
And also the fact that
yeah.
like LA is just like fire. I can't imagine what Australia is like. I've said this before. LA is just like fire. I have no idea how people actually cope or run
Is
around.
it that hot
And then
there?
you watch, yeah, but then you watch those programs with like rich celebrities and everything, and they look
Yeah.
amazing all the time.
Yeah. They're
Walking
used to
around
it.
California, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, but
how are
we-
you doing that?
We Europeans are not used to that heat, I think,
No,
or like
true.
Northern Europeans.
True. We're definitely
Funny
not
thing
at all
for that
used
too
to
is like I lived in San Diego, which is about a 45-hour drive south of LA,
Yeah.
and it was always like mild 70 degrees most of the year round. Once in a while it would up or down, but it stayed pretty much like immaculately
I'm
70
gonna
degrees.
Google what 70 degrees Fahrenheit is because
Oh,
I have
it's
no
like,
idea.
we
uh,
had it at 30
be a-
degrees?
It's about 30
28?
degrees, I think.
28?
It's
I don't
pretty
know.
30
close.
degrees. Oh no, 21. So
21.
Fahrenheit
21.
70 degrees is 21.
Oh,
It's-
That's
It's
fine.
very mild. It's very mild.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. We can.
That's
I
even
can
like
cook with that.
maybe cold a little bit.
I loved
Or
living
like
in San
summertime.
Diego. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
70 is still too hot for me.
really. You're like
I'm
negative 30. Like,
I'm-
I don't
I'm
want
like
to be in.
a low 60s kind of guy, like, which
That's
is
like-
probably like 12 in
Like
Celsius.
15,
Mhm.
Yeah.
15 Celsius. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
much
that's-
Ireland.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the Netherlands as
awesome.
well. Yeah, kind of the same.
Let me see what the temperature is right now.
Yeah,
Fascinating
check.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Temperature.
13 degrees Celsius, so it is 55 Fahrenheit right now.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
it's really
It's
nice.
good
It's actually a
fall
really
weather.
good day today. Yeah, it's
Well,
a good
it's,
day today.
It's 9 degrees now here. It's very cold.
Yeah.
Actually.
We're actually here in Virginia going through a second summer. It's supposed to be up to 80 today.
What? Oh my god,
Oh,
that
God.
sounds nice. Well, ish.
That's
For fall, I just don't think like for like autumn seasons, I feel like that's too hot. Like you
Yeah.
want to have a jumper and maybe a scarf.
Yeah, like warm chocolate
Yeah.
thing. What's it called? Warm chocolate. milk.
Hot
I don't
chocolate.
know.
Warm
Hot chocolate, yeah.
Hot chocolate. You were so close. It's just not warm. If it's warm, you should probably send it back.
Yeah.
they
Hot
stiffed
chocolate.
you on that
I
one.
ordered
Or
a
add
hot
schnapps to it and chug it.
Yeah.
Or that. That's also fine.
No, seriously,
Ladies.
hot chocolate and peppermint schnapps. It
I
is like
believe
the
it.
best Christmas liqueur.
I do like peppermint hot chocolate, so I'm down with
Really?
We have a lot of Bailey's like drinks around Christmas
Yeah.
times.
That
like
is
Bailey's
what
hot chocolates and
I
Bailey's
have in here.
shots.
that. Irish coffee.
No way. Even Irish coffee?
Yeah.
Good
Irish
call.
coffee.
like
I
Irish
actually don't
coffee's
like
so
Irish
dope.
coffee.
No?
I don't know why.
If
like,
it's
it
too
doesn't work
strong,
for
I'm
me.
not a fan. But if it's just right, then yeah, it's perfect. I love it.
So I think Dan's out. I'm the new co-host. Not liking
Yeah,
Irish
yeah.
coffee.
Clearly, that's absolutely fine.
This
Michael,
is not an
welcome
Irish
aboard.
program.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next question for Lisa, and get to know
Yes.
Lisa a little bit more. How did you find retro replay, Lisa?
Yeah, I kind of thought about that, and I don't really know anymore.
Great answer.
It's
During,
been so long.
yeah, no, it hasn't been that long actually. I think it was during quarantine, and I was bored, and I bought a PlayStation 3, and I bought some games, and I was like, oh, Uncharted, I heard of that. That's a good game, probably. So I bought Uncharted 2 and 3, and I always like the behind the scenes stuff of things. So I thought I would watch some behind the scenes of how it was made, and then I saw Nolan, and then through that my YouTube recommended me Nolan and Troy actually playing Uncharted 2. So I started watching that, and then through that I came to the episodes later on, and then kind of joined, and it was like around March I think, April maybe, like right before Troy left. I joined. So I was kind of sad when he left. I was like, oh fuck. Okay.
Aw.
Yeah, I
That's-
feel like somebody else has been on the podcast recently, right? Where they're like, "Hey, I joined in like
The
April
next
or like
day.
2 weeks before
Yeah.
they left,"
Yeah.
and then like,
Yeah.
That's me.
I
That
was
was
like,
me. It was
I
3
thought
weeks
so, and I
before
was
the
like, I
dude
don't
took
want
off.
to say that.
Yeah,
that's it.
me same thing for me. Yeah, and he left on my birthday. I was celebrating
How
my
dare you,
birthday, and I
Troy.
got
How
I got
dare
the
you.
How dare
email.
you
And I was
disrespect
like,
Lisa
oh.
like that?
Yeah,
Oh.
I need an apology, Troy. No.
No, like I signed up to be the whole Altered Beast thing because it was like Troy and Nolan will follow you on Twitter and Instagram. I'm like, oh, cool. And then Nolan follows me. And then it's like a week later, they announced Troy left. And I was like,
No.
what the fuck?
Well,
I
they've,
got
they've,
gypped.
they've fixed that now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now it's only on Twitter.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's only on Twitter now. I feel like it's just because there's like I mean,
Nolan
I don't
still
know. I'm not
follows
as
me on
active on
Instagram.
Instagram as I am on Twitter. And it's easier to follow on Twitter, I guess, and stay up to date. Otherwise, Instagram is filled with feeds that are like just adverts and sponsored feeds.
I don't
and stuff like
understand
that, whereas-
Instagram.
Yeah, I feel like Twitter's
really?
much better.
No, I actually.
It's because I'm
prefer Instagram.
63 years old.
Yeah.
Lisa prefers
Old people
Instagram.
in technology,
Yeah.
man. It's just
That's it. Yeah.
Twitter is just like filled with also hate things, like bad things sometimes.
it's all
That's true.
Instagram
I
is
see
just
less of
pictures.
that on Insta.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree.
Twitter
I would
can
agree.
all-
be the cesspool of the internet.
Yeah.
it's all politics
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
One of my favorite
I
things to actually
am
do
like
on Twitter.
swiftly moving past that because it has nothing to do with me. So I'm like, oh.
I don't understand Twitter great, but one of the favorite things of mine to do is I look at the Twitter feeds of either PlayStation or Xbox and look at the opposites trolling the other's feed. It's insane.
Oh,
I
that's
am-
good.
Never done that.
I am
No, I've never
not
done.
one of those trolls.
Hmm
He
No,
says
you
suspiciously.
actually you actually showed me. You gave me a reason to play Xbox.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Wow.
It's only
Xbox
one
is a
game,
good
but
console.
it's
I've
Ori.
also asked you about all the Ori was the one.
Ori
that
and
he
the
got
Blind
onto.
Forest is great. We recently showed Adam's brother came over and he'd never played it before. And just before, I think one of our podcasts or whatever. Yeah, it was before the podcast. We were playing that, and then we made him sit down and play it. And he was like, as soon as he started, he was like, "This is gonna be sad. It's gonna be sad. I don't like it." And then like as soon as like the sad part happened, we were all like looking at him like, "Isn't it so sad?" And he was
isn't
It
like,
is
"Yeah."
sad, but it's
It's
so good.
So good. I actually just finished Will
It's
of
a
the
beautiful.
Wisp. I finished the
game.
sequel.
I have to get
Oh.
that. I have
So
to
good.
finish Blind Forest. I am still stuck.
Blind Forest is hard.
Here's my thing too: is this like off the record, me and Michael had a conversation about this, and like we were talking about him not knowing Xbox, and he was like, well, I feel like Xbox only has Halo, and I was like, okay, well, have you ever played Gears of War? No. Have you ever played Fable? No. Like,
I mean, I've
if you've
heard
never
of these
played
things,
them,
but
you don't
Yeah.
know.
Mm. Yeah, true.
I wanted to
Is that-
play Fable.
Oh, I'm so excited for the new Fable to come back.
I feel like I've never played Fable. I have played Xbox games though, and I feel like maybe because that was also my view as well when I had a PlayStation 3 and stuff. I was like, why would you have Xbox other than like Halo?
Well,
But then of course like Mass Effect is a huge one for like Adam's family household. Like they loved Mass Effect, and they played that on Xbox.
It was an exclusive originally.
Yeah,
It was only on Xbox
now
to begin
available.
with. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's why. I think when it came out as an exclusive, I think that's when they got an Xbox. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I didn't know. I had no idea those games existed. And then obviously recently we found out. Well, I found out about Gears. He's completed all of Gears. But yeah, it's a good console.
Well, I mean, my dad has had Xbox, and he started, he, like I said in the last episode I was in, he has been the big influence in my video game life, and he's always had an Xbox. I didn't get my uncle bought me my first PS1 when I was like 5 or 6 when it first came out, and then I didn't have my own until I was 20 and had a PS3. So I mean, I've pretty much been playing Xbox, but it's just like the only game that has really stood out that everyone makes a big deal of is Halo.
I mean,
So like,
Halo was the thing that made me an Xbox fan. So,
I mean, it's nothing against Halo. I've played and beaten them all. I think they're a lot of fun. It's just I'm not a big fan of first-person
FPS.
shooters otherwise.
yeah, and that's a make or break it kind of thing for you too, if it's not a genre that you're a fan of. But I actually want to go back on the notion you kind of hinted at. Like, we had asked you the first time you came on the show about your introduction to gaming, so it was actually your uncle buying you a PlayStation?
It was, well,
or
no,
your
'cause
dad
even
specifically just being a gamer?
is my dad. He had an NES, and he had his old Atari, and he got a Sega Genesis when that came out, a Super Nintendo, and so I've kind of been playing a little bit of everything until I started getting my own money.
Yeah.
So
What about you, Lisa? Like, what was your first introduction to gaming?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you did tell us you just bought a PlayStation.
Yeah, you bought a PlayStation during quarantine.
Yeah, but that was like 6 months ago or something. That was my first PlayStation.
If that was
ever.
your introduction.
Yeah,
That was your first PlayStation? Is it your first console?
Yeah, I've never had a console or anything.
Hey.
No, a Wii at my parents' home.
Okay.
We played Wii. My parents weren't big on gaming. They didn't really like it, so we didn't grow up with it. We had a Game Boy Color. So that's kind of my introduction, to be honest. It was we had like what's called Pokemon Blue, Yellow, and Silver.
Nice.
And I have 3 older brothers, and they all each had their own Pokemon game, and there's only one save on the game. So they each had their own save. So I just played the game without saving. So I had to turn it off, and then I had to start all over again.
Oh no!
So that's so I'm very good at the first part of the game, like the first hour. Because I played it like 50 times or something. So yeah, that's kind of like Game Boy Color, and then like on the computer, maybe like Age of Empires, Tony Hawk, Pro Skater 3.
It was on
things
PC?
like that.
Yeah, Tony Hawk
PC.
was on PC.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. Those are like games that I grew up with.
It's
mostly.
weird that I know that, because the reason I know Tony Hawk 3 was on the PC was because I got it when it came out for PlayStation 2, and my buddy, who was a big fan of skateboarding, didn't have a PlayStation, but then he bought it for PC, and he played it online before PlayStation had online, and he got really fucking good, really fast. And then he would come over and be like, let's play Tony Hawk, and I'd be like, okay, and then he would destroy me.
Wow. Yeah.
No,
it's
I
such a
remember-
cool game.
Practicing.
I remember the first Tony Hawk game. I played the demo, which came with
Good
a
old fashioned
Pizza Hut pizza.
Oh, cool.
It was a big promotion because
Good
apparently
reason,
Pizza Hut gets all their cheese from Wisconsin, which is like a big cheese state. So it was like a promotion. I don't know what Tony Hawk had to do with that.
I was gonna say, what does Tony Hawk have to do with it?
I don't know, but it came with a demo disc. It came with a
Sure.
pizza, and I played that same 2-minute level.
Children.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello,
Welcome to the
children.
podcast.
Michael just yes.
They are. Oh god. Yeah.
So you have you only played PlayStation then, Lisa?
Yeah.
Other than like Game Boy and like, did you say PC as well?
Yeah, PC gaming. That's like the most games I've played on like PC and the Wii as well. Mario Kart. And then I've had my ex-boyfriend had like PlayStation 2, so I played a little bit with him on that.
Oh, okay.
But-
And do you have a favorite game then, like, or a preferred platform? I presume.
Well, if I can afford a PlayStation 4, that would probably be my favorite one.
Okay,
fair. I've played like at friends sometimes a little bit on that.
Nice.
But I don't know. I like PC to be honest most. I'm not really good with the console, with
Okay.
the
Controller?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I'm so the opposite. I'm so shit with like keyboard
Yeah?
controls.
Oh, no.
Like teaching you
Like
to play
with a mouse, you
Phasmophobia
can-
last week.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, I had such a hard time actually navigating like how to turn and move and stuff like that with the WASD like
Mhm.
keys.
Oh, really?
I was like, how am I ever gonna do like this? And then directional arrows for Among Us was easier. And I was like, okay, this is great. I can do this.
Oh,
See,
wow.
I think that a certain kind of game is
Michael's just like,
Exactly.
You are hilarious.
you. I was
Yes.
just saying the same thing. You are so funny.
but no, I think every kind of game has its own, like, has a console that it works best with. Like,
Yeah.
like I think fighting
Yeah,
games,
true.
like if like fighting games should be on PlayStation
Mm.
because like the buttons are comfortably
Yeah.
spaced, you know.
Yeah.
And you're not really using like, you know, the sticks to move your character. You're
analog,
using
yeah.
the buttons, so your thumbs are like, you know,
Mm.
Mhm.
resting in good spots. Unless you're me and you play like this.
It depends on the fighter.
Yeah,
You have to- you
yeah.
have
It
to
totally
do it
depends
like
on
this.
the fighter.
You
Yeah.
go arcade stick style on it.
Yep.
But then,
Done
you know,
that.
first person shooters I
Yeah.
think are better on PC because
Exactly.
it's basically point and click.
Yeah, you can just aim very easily.
I think the first person shooters are better on Xbox if you don't play it on PC. I prefer
Okay.
the Xbox controller for a first person shooter. When it comes to console, specifically.
Okay.
I am so terrible with like aiming and shooting on like Xbox and PlayStation. I'm just terrible at it. I'm
Yeah,
just
that's why
not
you play
good.
on PC.
This is the thing. I was blown away one day because I was like, how are all these people really good at doing this? Like if I'd watch YouTube videos or I watch whatever, I was like, how are they doing that? And Adam's like, because they're playing on PC. And I was like, so? And he's like, so it's just point and click, Pagan. I was like,
yeah.
that makes sense. That makes a
Yeah.
lot more sense now. Thank you
A
so
lot
much.
easier.
Like I was
Yeah.
like, I don't understand.
I mean,
how
I'm
they're
pretty
doing it.
sure I'd still be shit either way because first person shooter. But
Same.
I haven't actually tried though. That's
Yeah, I feel
I
like
guess
once
that's
I
the difference.
get a PC, like at least I can try those things and be like, "Hey, I really suck at this," and now I know.
Now you know.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean,
well, I
I was-
suck at gaming as well, though. So
I mean, I was
really bad.
okay at Advanced Warfare on
Hmm.
PS4 when that came out, but
all right.
then I tried to play Destiny and it was like, "Ugh, just stop.
You know, I've been playing first person shooters since GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64, and that was fucking
Wow.
controls back then because
when
that
you
was
were 40.
yes, when I was 40. If anyone knows a Nintendo 64 controller, you have one analog stick and you've got the C buttons.
Yes.
And the C buttons is what you use to aim
Yeah.
with. And that's
Oh wow.
a
difficult.
whole different ball game when it comes to a shooter.
It's weird.
But then maybe that's made you better at
Oh,
gaming,
that's what I'm
like shooter
saying.
games now because You're
I've
trained.
evolved with it. Like
yeah,
the evolution from playing on one analog stick and some face buttons to having two sticks where it's like, oh my god, this other stick does the same thing as the buttons did, but better. This is amazing.
And then I remember in the older, like Metal Gear Solid games, like it would be the square button to aim, and then you release to shoot. But now it's It feels
yeah.
more like a trigger.
That is so much better. Yeah,
Yeah.
R2 is just the default. I'm like, yeah, just R2 everything.
So
I still
Spray and
use
pray is
think
honestly my
it should be
tactic.
R1. Should be
Oh,
R1,
really?
I think.
older
Yeah,
No, 'cause
PlayStation
it's-
games used to be
yeah.
R1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it used to be R1.
hated
PS3
that.
it was R1.
Oh,
I
really? It's like an
hated
easier
that.
button to.
Well, see the way that
Use.
the top buttons were.
They curved
guess,
down on the
shaped.
PS3, and I hated
Yeah.
that because
That's
if you're
right,
playing
yeah.
a
So
shooter,
it's like-
your
That's what I
finger slipped
have.
off.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
what I have.
Okay,
So
yeah.
it sucks.
yeah, this is what they look like on the PS4.
Yeah,
they're
they're
kind
curved.
of
Yeah,
Yeah,
see, that's
okay.
much better because they
That's
actually have
much
like
better.
a little
See,
rise
now-
on them.
Yeah, because
yeah.
it's.
Xbox's
so annoying.
triggers have always been a trigger, like they're trigger shaped, so your finger doesn't slip off
Right.
of them. They leaned into the first-person shooter element when they designed their controllers.
Mhm.
when I had my PS3, I actually went and bought those
The
clip-on
trigger clips, I had those too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we
Fancy.
had them somewhere. I don't think we used them very much, but we definitely had them because it's just a slip off the back buttons. Shit.
Yeah.
It was shit for no
Yeah,
reason.
for games, I actually bought them specifically for Infamous
Mm.
because
Oh.
in that game, the square button was like melee attacks,
Yeah.
and you would actually shoot with like R2. You shoot like lightning out of your hands.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the whole reason I bought them
True,
because I'd
yeah.
be surrounded by these people, and my finger kept slipping off the button.
I had that
Yeah.
problem with driving games a lot too because a lot of driving games R2 is
Yeah.
like gas or throttle,
Yeah.
and you have to hold it. And after a few seconds, your finger would thump, thump, like you just keep slipping because there's no grip, and you'd have to like you would be like struggling to hang on to that fucking throttle.
The gamer problems.
Yeah. Oh, first world gaming problems.
Yup.
Like, but speaking of games, then
Tangents
Lisa, do you have yeah, tangents aside, is there a game that you in particular like would like to see on the show, like Nolan play on the Retro Replay?
That's something I actually need to talk to you about
Tekken.
in turn.
Me?
Yes, you.
I was
I
gonna
don't know what you're
mention
talking
this
about.
too.
I don't work for Retro Replay. That's another Pagan.
Another Pagan.
No, it's just Nolan and Jess were talking about Tekken, and
Yeah.
I went in on that episode.
Yeah, and when
For sure.
Michael
Yeah.
here was on last time, he said he wants
He
to
said
see them
Tekken
play
7.
Tekken.
Yeah.
And to be able to play it with them would just be
The dream.
yes.
I mean,
was-
listen, I'm not a miracle worker, but I'll see what I can do.
I was playing
Like-
it before Dan sent the link. Like I love Tekken. It's-
Tekken was a
almost-
good one. I think
it's-
I
Good
grew
game.
up on Tekken 2.
It
Like,
was actually
Yeah.
one of the first games I had for my PS1 that my uncle bought me. He also bought me the first Tekken, and I've been
Nice.
playing them I have all of them except for 6, which I had. But then,
oh, I thought it was gonna be some weird thing. It was like we don't talk about 6.
No,
Like-
I
The bastard
ended up
child.
some financial
Not
issues and
6.
sold
I see.
everything, and
Yeah.
been slowly rebuilding my collection back, and that's just the
Mhm.
one I haven't gotten yet. But
Nice.
yeah,
I mean, I would love to see them play Tekken. I really enjoyed them playing like Mortal Kombat and stuff like that back in the
Yeah.
day. So I'd love to see them play Tekken because that's definitely a game that like I was just raised on. Like PlayStation 1, Tekken 2 was just like a thing. We just
I do-
played it all the time.
I do feel like Nolan is going to struggle with it a little because I remember they played Mortal Kombat and they played Dead or Alive, I think.
Yeah,
And,
that's right.
And it's the controls aren't set up the same way. Like it's
No.
not, square is your punches and triangles is your kicks. It's the square button is your left hand and the triangle button is your right hand. So you actually
Yeah.
need to use all 4 because like X is your left leg.
Yep.
And circle is your right leg. So it's like you have to know kind of what you're doing to actually
I think he'll be fine.
play.
I mean,
I've always felt like Tekken's
Yeah.
a good masher. Like it, you.
I was
can,
gonna say, I was like,
you
he'll just
can
mash.
and you can kind of get away with that, especially if you're playing with somebody else who
Yeah.
doesn't know how to play. But if you
Yeah.
play someone who knows what they're doing, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
But
it's like I've told Dan because there's been talks of like Dan and Josh and me and maybe even Aaron all getting together in a PS4 group and playing some Tekken. It's like I'm nervous to play with everybody because people
You're
tend
so
to
good at it?
not want to play with me anymore.
Oh, I see. I see.
Uh-oh.
After one round, that would be me. I'd be like,
Hence
why?
why-
What is the point? I'm not playing anymore.
Hence why
Take
Josh
care.
hasn't played with you since, right?
But I mean, maybe I don't know.
Josh is just
Possibly.
mean.
There's no point in playing against a Tekken god. Like, I would just be button mashing and I would die all the time.
Hey, in the
Yeah.
Zoom chat, he called himself a champion. And
But Josh thinks he's good at everything. So
Exactly. Yeah.
Poor Josh. We're ripping on Josh. He's not even here.
He'll
Sorry,
watch.
Josh.
brings it on
he'll watch
himself.
and he'll see it.
He will. He'll watch it. And
Now,
he'll call
now
us
he
out for
gets
it.
to comment and bitch at us in the
And
comments.
be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So mean. Lisa, what about you? Have you played Tekken?
I have played it like a long time ago. Oh no, on the portable PlayStation thing,
Mm.
PSP.
On the PSP,
I
they
played
had
Tekken on there. Yeah,
Tekken
They
5.
had
I like the
6.
game. I really like playing it, and I'm a button masher, so I'm really good at it.
Me too.
So yeah,
I'm such a button masher. I'm not good at it, but I'm a button
yeah,
masher.
exactly. And then I win. So I mean, it works.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, if it works for you, buddy.
Yeah,
I'm
I
actually
really
ex-
like Tekken.
I'm actually excited for this Mortal Kombat 11 Complete Edition they're coming out with in November.
For Rambo.
For Rambo, but it's also going to have like a free upgrade to next gen consoles with like improved frame rates and graphics and things, and it's going to have all the DLC. So I'm like, oh, I might finally pick up the new Mortal Kombat.
I've never.
I
I'm
have
not big-
it.
I've never been a big Mortal Kombat fan.
Is it too
probably
bloody?
won't pick it up. No, not at all. I just preferred Tekken at the time. Like, I mean, I just think I grew up maybe on the Tekken side, so I just didn't
Yeah.
really care as much for Mortal Kombat.
I've
It
never
was only
played
like
it.
when they had I think, was there a series at some point?
There was an animated series, yeah.
Yeah. That was like something that I used to watch, and then that was kind of cool. But other than that, yeah.
They tried to take
They got
Mortal
it.
Kombat
Yeah.
and make it for kids. It's like
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like, you can't do it. Let's face it. And then I saw the film, and then I saw the second film, and it's just terrible. So I was like, you know what? I'm good.
The first movie was really good, but the second one, it's like they were just reaching way too far.
The second movie is a joke. Like, it's just
I low key
a joke
love
at
those
some point.
movies.
Seriously.
I know how
Maybe they're
terrible they
just
are, but
those,
I
like-
love them.
No,
Maybe
the
they're,
first
like,
one I
they're
thought
so
was
bad they're
really
good.
First one's good.
Yeah.
Second
I
one, not
haven't
so
seen them.
much.
And the tune gets me. Like, the tune will hype me up. I'm like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
gets
know
me.
the tune. That's all.
That was actually I'm full of random useless knowledge. That was actually the only song that was made for a video game that's ever won like a music award.
Mm.
Really?
I think it has a
Wow.
Grammy.
Really? And
Whoa.
nothing from Metal Gear ever did?
Harry Gregson Williams
Oh yeah,
is
he's the composer of Metal Gear.
Is the same person who did the Mortal
So-
Kombat tune?
no, he's just
No, but he's
ridiculously
a big,
underrated.
well-known composer. But he did
Yeah.
the music for Metal Gear.
Yeah, because I feel like, I mean, there are some great soundtracks. Actually, I'm gonna do this. If anybody is interested in video game soundtracks, there is an episode coming out on a podcast called The Brothers Take, and it's
A podcast.
it's really, really interesting. Yeah, I'm just going to plug somebody else's podcast on our own podcast, if that's okay.
It's Adam's podcast. You can mention it.
Who's Adam? Oh yeah, yeah, it's Adam's
Who is
podcast.
Adam?
Adam who?
Yeah, it's him and his two brothers, and they talk about video games, and it's extremely interesting. And there is an episode coming up with video game soundtracks, and they're going to
Can
rank like
me
their
and Michael
favorites.
come and guests talk about the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack?
Honestly, absolutely, reach out. 'Cause I'm
Bringing
sure they're
it
looking for
around.
guests. Yeah, see how you did that? Good segue. We didn't actually get an answer though, Lisa. Do you know if there's a game that you'd like to see Nolan play?
I've had a long time to think about this now.
You sure
Yeah,
have.
you have. Yeah,
Uh,
we finally come back to
Yeah,
you
well,
that you had
I was
time.
thinking, like maybe like South Park Stick of Truth or something like that. I like the
Yes!
stupid games.
Yes,
That
I would
does
love
seem
to see
like-
them play a South Park game.
That does seem like Nolan's brand of comedy.
Yeah, it's just not a short game, so you have to like do a whole playthrough and then. So I don't know if they want to do that, but
They could even go
mean-
retro with it and play the Nintendo 64 South Park game.
Yeah,
oh,
Which is
which
also-
I think we've definitely had suggested on the show before.
Mm.
cool. Yeah,
It's such good humor.
just
If I'm gonna throw it out there though, like I do think that kind of game, although like up Nolan's alley, I think is really like a Troy Baker special. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause
Yeah.
Troy would just quote South Park
Everything.
through
Yeah.
every single episode. So I was like, that would have been really good content. To
If
see.
it wasn't South Park, it was Die Hard.
Yeah,
So
one of the two.
yes, the
Uh,
Die Hard episode. He knew everything. Troy.
It's a good episode.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 9 years.
So good. I love it. It's just everything. I really like to see somebody in general, not just Troy or whatever. Like people, like even Adam and his brothers and everything like that. When they know a film so well, that you can quote every single line of the film.
You haven't been to the Replayer movie nights.
Yeah.
This is literally what we
They're
do.
really late for me,
thing.
if I'm fair. You
I know.
start your movies at like midnight for us.
Yeah,
So I was like, how am I going to sit through a 2-hour movie plus chat into like 4 or 5 a.m.? I'm already running thin on the timeline. It's okay.
Lisa does it.
And it's an hour later for me as well. So.
Oh my
Lisa's
God, I
a
have no idea
trooper.
how you do that. You are such a trooper.
Coffee.
I just have no life.
Yeah. You see, because I mean, like that's what, a Friday night, so that would be from like midnight to like 2 or 3 in the morning, and then on Saturday nights for me, like as it goes into midnight 1 a.m. I'm in
good.
the Liam and Todd's Get Good. Yeah, so it's like from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. So like
Night shift.
That's kind of
I have no sleep left. I'll just sleep when I'm dead. It's fine. Sleep is for the week anyway.
True.
Amelia knows.
Bring me the Horizon lyrics.
Yeah.
So Lisa's game is South Park.
Yeah.
I think
His game is South Park.
Yeah.
NES one.
Yeah. Well,
That'd be good.
the fractured but whole.
The fractured but whole. I would love to see them play that. I think that is such a funny like.
I'd love to hear them say the name of it.
Yeah,
especially in that. I would like that new
Nolan
format
would
that
have
they're
a field
doing, where
day.
it's like Nolan playing, but Drew is kind of guiding him off camera and talking to him. The way that that new format, I'm really enjoying that.
Loving it.
I do kind of miss the text bubbles though. Like, you could hear them like
Do you?
typing and.
Maybe we'll start getting new text bubbles from Pagan.
From Pagan.
Oh my god. Probably if they ever include me in the editing process. All right.
Steph.
Or Steph actually. I think Steph would be a lot. Yeah, that's a lot more feasible. Having text bubbles from Steph is a lot more feasible.
Yes.
As we're going on to that show, actually, let's start talking about this week's topics, I guess, this week's shows that we got on Retro Replay. We can actually start with the Retro Replay proper, I guess, that was aired on Thursday. And it's a brand new episode with Jess Harnell featuring as a guest interview. And they have, like you said, a new format. So what do you guys think? What did you guys think of the show that they've done in quarantine?
I love it. I think it's good. I like the kind of like it how it was before, but now with a new twist or something.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing the replayers on and Nolan and Drew kind of bantering together. I really like that.
Yeah, that was really cool to see, is Drew actually having a voice now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Instead of the text bubbles. But it was I was nervous about it at first when, PJ said something about being back in the basement. I was like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Can I make the bold claim that we got Drew out of his shell? He's coming and showing his voice and face on our show, and now he's doing it on their show?
Maybe.
I
feel like he's never been to me, like he's never been sort of introverted or anything, but it was always like Nolan and Troy are the stars of the show.
Right.
And then eventually, like, as he would like come in with comments and things during Uncharted, and then like anytime Drew laughs, we all fucking piss ourselves because it's hilarious. So I feel like the more we acknowledged Drew's voice off camera, I feel like that may have just influenced them to realize that that is such a good dynamic. And now that Troy is no longer there and there is no second co-host, it's fantastic that Drew kind of is, but is still off camera. Yeah, it's a really good idea. Good job, Drew.
Yeah. I like how he backseat games. He
backseat gaming,
and then he's like into it the whole time.
Yeah,
I really like that part of it as well. I
feel like that's probably what he's doing anyway when they were already playing. I just had like no mic.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. Because I wouldn't be able to sit still if you're like playing Crash Bandicoot and you have to be like, just jump.
Yeah, it's kind of what we want to say as well, but Drew does it for us.
And I think that really works that he's off screen.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that definitely is almost like a representation of what the replayers would be saying as well during this gameplay. Like if they've ever played that game. He's the voice of us.
I would say he's the voice of the audience for sure.
Yeah.
It's
good.
It's like the children's shows where the character would ask a question, and then you hear the kids in the off camera like,
Yeah.
"It's 2,
Blue.
right? It's 2."
Make that happen, Drew.
Yes, do it.
I want to
A
hear
whole bunch of
Nolan
kids
ask
together.
questions and then Drew be like,
The
Crash! And then be like, that's right, it's Crash Bandicoot,
Very panto, very panto.
And who is our guest today, Drew? Jess Arnell. That's right.
Oh my god, I'd love to see an
Super
episode of Retro
forward.
Replay in the style of like a children's show. Do the whole thing just in the style of a children's show aimed at 5-year-olds. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
They could have a bunch of replayers like
Do
being
the
the
voices.
audience, the studio
Yeah.
audience.
That's the same thought I was just having too.
That's brilliant. This is genius. As a special
Could you
episode.
Pagan's
imagine?
like, I am stealing this and I am turning it to Drew.
I mean, could you imagine
my
though,
own
just
House,
like
but okay.
a bunch of grown ass adults, And who is our special guest today? Jess Arnell. That's right.
Yeah.
It's like,
With canned
Alan
laughter, just like
Tudyk.
yay! In the style of like 90s kids shows where there was canned laughter at everything everybody said. Yeah, perfect. I would love that as a special episode.
Sesame Street style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sesame Street style for sure.
Make it happen.
Oh god.
Drew listens. Just speak directly to Drew. He's the voice of God here. What I was gonna say though is with their new format, they do like a Nolan's ranting section. So they do like 5 or 10 minutes where he just rants about a topic with Drew.
Sea
And then they
turtles.
start with gameplay, an interview, and then 5 questions with the replayers, or something stupid like that. Yeah. So I feel like this is such a massive change to what they used to do.
Mm.
There was never segments. There was always just let's play a game and go randomly off topic.
Yeah.
How do you feel about a segmented format? Like, are you okay with the transitions? Like, are you enjoying that they're still trying to play in like retro games and things like that as well, while also bringing on a guest?
Yeah, for me, I think it's just part of figuring out what retro replay is now, I guess, and just the whole process of it. And I think it's a good format. Yeah, I think it works because it's a mix of old and new, I think. And I like kind of the Drew coming in a little bit more, and then replayers coming more of behind the scenes kind of thing, or more like. Yeah, and the whole community thing, because that's what I love about retro replay, like a community. So bringing in that part of it more, I think works for me more, and put them in segments in that way.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it totally
Yeah.
does. Totally does. It's definitely. Like you say, they're just figuring out the show, but also like the show during quarantine is so difficult. Like you
Yeah.
can't just get a guest on the couch.
Exactly.
So having them play a game like just with him and Drew, and then just moving on to an interview with a star or a guest
Yeah.
is always good crack.
I was actually gonna say on that same note, I really enjoyed the change up and having the segments like that, and I think what could have made that even better is out of their control right now because of quarantine. But if Jess had been there as a on-set guest, where it was like if it started with the whole like Drew and Nolan kind of playing the old game, kind of getting familiar with it, and now obviously they had the tie-in to play the new Crash Bandicoot, which was wonderful to have that comparison. And then if they brought in Jess after the fact, like, hey, come join Nolan on the couch, and he comes in and there's like a kind of like a talk show version of like they shake hands, cool, how you doing, buddy, sit down, let's play some Crash, and they like pass the controller back and forth or something along those lines. I think that could have in the future has extremely high potential to be great entertainment.
Yeah.
That's what I thought they were going to do with this one.
Yeah, unfortunately they couldn't actually do chess on the set.
Yeah.
Just COVID restrictions, it's really hard to do that kind of stuff. But I'm enjoying their use of Zoom. Like honestly, like I think it's a genius idea to just still have guests on the show, and they're just having like a one-on-one with Nolan, like Nolan's an interviewer or something. You know what I mean? Like it's really nice to see that. And obviously, Jess Arnell was the voice of Crash Bandicoot since the Insane trilogy. And pretty much the voice of everything in my fucking childhood. If I
Harnell.
watched it in my childhood, Jess Harnell has touched it with his voice somehow. Like Biker Mice from Mars, Dexter's Laboratory, fucking
Oh, he wasn't that?
yeah, a Crash Bandicoot.
Wacko. Wacko.
He was Wacko. Oh my god, Wacko from Animaniacs.
Yeah, that's the
It's
biggest.
probably his most notable role is the
Ah.
last one you mentioned.
Yeah, well, honestly, like he's been in everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, how can you pick one? But yeah, man, what a fucking talent, and what a sound guy. He seems so cool.
Yeah, he was so sincere and so loving or something. Yeah, he was
He's
cool.
really upbeat.
He's one of the main
genuine.
proponents of Twisted Tunes that we've
Yeah.
talked about on the show before.
Yeah, that's right.
Twisted
He
Tunes.
was in a documentary called I Know That Voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was
Really?
done by John
No, no, no.
DiMaggio. Actually put it all together. And
Oh,
Nolan was in
man.
it.
it's also yeah.
Nice.
And Nolan was in it too. But
Yeah.
I've got to see this documentary. I didn't know
Just-
this
Yeah.
existed.
Mhm.
Jess Arnell was talking about how, he'll go out somewhere and he'll see like a little kid wearing an Animaniacs shirt. And he's been like, yeah, I was in that show. I do the voice of Wacko. And he was like, and some of these snot-nosed brats, they'll look up at me and go, so what? So do I. It's like, he was like, no, I mean, I'm Wacko on the show. He's, no, you're not. It's,
I've seen that done with like Nancy Cartwright from from The Simpsons. She does Bart Simpson,
Mhm.
and like she would just like, I don't know what, I think she's got a YouTube channel or something, and like a random teen was like trying to sell her something, like I don't know, like buy a cookie or whatever, and she was like, oh, you're the age of whatever, and they had mentioned The Simpsons. She's like, you watch The Simpsons? Do you like it? And then she starts doing the Bart voice, and they're just clueless. They're just like, oh, that's pretty neat. And she's like, I'm Bart Simpson. No, I'm actually Bart Simpson. I voice Bart Simpson. That's me. And they're like, oh, it takes a while for the penny to drop. So I'm sure that's kind of like the same with Jess Harnell.
Oh,
He's
no.
like, hey, that's me. And they're like, oh yeah, good impression. And he's like, no, that is me. I do that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little worse of an experience for Jess because
Shit.
he was like, okay, so you do the voice on the show, prove it. And he carries around a picture of himself with Wacko. And he was like, well, look, this is me and the character. He said, so what? You have a picture with the character. Do the voice then, if it's really you. And then he'll do it. And the kid was like, I do it so much better. It's
Fuck.
Oh, poor
Kids
Jess.
these days.
a documentary called I Know That Voice.
Yeah.
I know that voice. I'm
I've
gonna watch
seen
that.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Damn
So-
it! I don't have Amazon Prime. No wonder I
can-
don't know about this documentary.
Like
I'll
I
probably
actually,
download it.
I actually ordered the DVD. I love it
Oh,
so
nice.
much. Like
I'll probably have to do that.
most people watch documentaries for like the information, but I watch it for the entertainment because it's the industry I want to get into, and it's
For sure.
a bunch of voice actors talking about voice acting. It's awesome.
Pretty neat.
Pretty neat.
Pretty neat.
Well, she says
Uh,
neat now, but she hasn't seen it yet.
Pretty.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, from what you're saying, it sounds
Pretty.
good. I've never seen it. I'd like to see it, though. I might order the DVD if it's on DVD.
I mean, I downloaded it
You
illegally.
downloaded it? On Amazon Prime?
You have to
No.
drop in the
Illegally?
illegally.
Illegally.
Yeah,
Shit.
please edit that out.
I wasn't
Illegally.
supposed to say that.
I downloaded it from Redacted. Yeah, basically. Cool. I'm pretty glad that, I mean, and obviously we had some replayer guests on this week. Some
Yeah.
very, very notable replayers.
Including
Randy and
my
James.
room. No, I mean
Including your
including
room
Brandy.
featured. Yeah, Brandy. Yeah. Oh.
What's more important?
My room was on the show. I mean, Brandy was on the show. That's right. Brandy was
Yeah.
on the show, and James, and they're doing this kind of like
Yes.
family style retro
Oh,
replay
James,
segment.
friend of the show. We had him on
Friend of the show.
way back when.
James.
Yeah,
James
and
looks
like
cool.
he'll come on again, I'm sure.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, what a laugh. Honestly, like that was so funny.
Randy
What
gave
do
all the wrong
dogs
answers.
do? Poop.
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 I can't believe that
I mean,
wasn't one of the
yeah.
answers.
And also
Right.
school. Nothing I miss about school. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I don't
Comments
know how
and
that's
stuff
not
in
an answer.
space. Come on.
Yeah.
We're here
No
to
idea.
defend you, Brandy.
Yeah. We got you, Brandy.
We got you, Brandy. You were robbed. No, I'm just kidding. James, you did really well.
Yeah. Yay, James. Woo.
Yay, James. No, it was really cool. It was a good segment. Well played by James. Well played by James.
That was very fun. I was a big
yeah, it
fan
was
of the dubbed over Nolan, where like he was like, "Welcome
yeah, it's
to,"
a work in progress.
and then it dubbed over with like 5 questions with the replayers.
Yeah.
I didn't notice
So
that.
good.
You didn't
Yeah,
notice? Oh
it's
my
'cause
god!
they didn't
Really?
have a name for that segment at the time we were filming this, and he's like, "Welcome to whatever the hell we're gonna call this show," and then he's like, "We'll just dub that over." Like, it is very funny. And then there was like offers of names, and they were like, "No, I don't like that. No, I don't like that." And then he's like, "Okay, well, we're just gonna call it blah 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 blah," and then just dub that over. I was like, "Okay."
Cool.
Yeah, no, because he's actually done ADR before, so
For sure, but I mean, you can't ADR blah 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 blah.
that's
Like
true.
it has to be, yeah.
Oh,
you have to
if
say
you
it.
pay
Say
attention,
something.
it's obvious
Yeah,
that
you
his
see
mouth
it,
and
yeah.
the voice doesn't match at all in that.
No, but
But that
that
was
was
the
the point. Like,
joke.
that was that's the gag.
Yeah, which is why I
Um,
loved it.
Yeah, it's so
Like bad lip
uh,
reading.
yeah. It looks like bad lip reading. Yeah, it's good. I mean, what do you guys think of the replayer segment? Do you think, like, would you like to see more of that? Do you think that's gonna get old fast? Like, honest opinions. What do you think?
I think they should keep it going. I mean, like
Yeah.
especially since at first they said something about having a contest to actually have a replayer on the set,
Yeah.
but then COVID, so now it's kind of like their way of kind of keeping that going, I guess,
Yeah.
or making that happen in some way, at least until the quarantine's over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Because-
it's nice. Oh, sorry.
Mm-mm.
Go ahead.
Because I want to go to the set.
Oh, yeah. Don't we all?
Don't we all? Like,
Pagan, get out of my head.
aha! I'm in your head now. Oh,
Well, it's like 3
dark.
times. It's dark. It's
Yeah.
It's just a deadpan void of.
Of Godzilla, yeah.
Godzilla.
Like, Godzilla?
Wow.
Brandy, is that you? Like,
Not the 2004 one with Matthew Broderick.
not that one? That's the only one I've seen.
Oof.
I've never seen a Godzilla movie.
Oh, well, there you go. I have
You're
one up
missing
Lisa.
out.
Yeah.
Is she?
In my humble opinion,
Actually, yeah, kind of.
the new ones are really good. You should at least watch the new ones.
I actually
It's
haven't
not
seen
my
the new
kind of
ones, although the
movie.
advert did grab me, and I was like, okay, well, I could watch this.
I haven't
So,
seen any
maybe.
of the newer ones,
Maybe one day.
They're surprisingly
What
good.
but my
What
dad
do you
has.
think, Lisa, about the segment? Sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say it's nice to. Well, I know Brandy's face already, but like to put the faces to names, because from the Zoom chat actually, you get to see the faces of the replayers, and I think it's nice to see because you see only the names, so
Yeah.
you see like Pagan or whatever, and then you can just only imagine, and it's nice to put faces to the names, I guess. So that's kind of what I.
On the live chats.
Right.
Yeah,
YouTube.
That's
exactly.
nice.
And then on the replayer segment, I think you can have that more. I think that's I don't know. I like the whole community, so that's for me. That's like the whole.
The whole community. I like everybody.
I like everybody. No, but like the whole
Fair.
community thing of it.
It's
Yeah.
just great to have that involvement of the community too, to
Yeah.
finally figure out some small way to kind of integrate the
Yeah,
replayer
exactly.
community into the show.
Yeah.
And they've been saying they want to do more to include people, and I mean replayers since the beginning, from as far as I know, have been pining for give us an opportunity to be involved. And that
Yeah.
door kind of opened when Pagan and I and Tina and Grace were able to come
Yeah.
out for that multiplayer event, and people were like, "This is amazing! I want to do it! I want to do it! I want to do it!"
Yeah.
And this is kind of a version of that, especially more the speed for Nolan, because Nolan can't keep up playing Uncharted multiplayer with us. We barely played with him. It was mostly Cooper.
Yeah,
So-
for sure.
Only Cooper. right?
No, I would totally agree, and I think it is nice to bring people's voices to the show as well, and like you say, put a face to the name.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
And not just that, but it's also nice to see that Retro Replay actually cares about its community. Because any other big YouTube channel like this, they're just like, watch this, subscribe, like this video, and then that's all you hear.
Yeah,
But
That's true.
but Retro Replay is getting people involved in it, and it's nice to see.
I would agree.
Mhm.
It's a cute segment. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see
No,
how
it's
it
a
works.
work in progress.
got it.
I
So
think
yeah,
it worked as
feedback is good.
a tail end. Like this is, if anything, feedback wise.
Yeah.
I like it as a end cap to the show, and like a send off. Like here, it's kind of like the shout outs almost, where
Yeah.
it's like, here's some replayers. We're gonna feature them on for a couple of minutes. Boom, done. I don't think it would work as well if it was like one long episode of like bing, 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 like back to back to
Yeah.
back replayer guests, because then it burns it out fast.
Yeah.
And it, again, kind of like how some people were not great on Uncle Noly becoming a full segment.
Yeah.
I think this works well as a one-time piece per episode, if that's how they want to continue moving forward with it.
Yeah, and I think like I mean, just going back onto your point earlier as well, when you said like the retro replay community involvement and like how multiplayer and everything, and then this like these doors are being opened up for retro replay. It's also now becoming like membership perks. Like you can win a chance to be on Get Good with Liam and Todd, and you could play a game with them or you could chat with them. Like it's up to you and what you and your like capabilities are, what you want to do on that show. And then obviously like the membership perks like Zoom with the cast and Zoom with the crew as well. Like I think it's all community focused, and that they have a big strong emphasis on community. They really do love everybody, and they just want to make sure that everybody's voices are heard, and if there is feedback and what works and what doesn't, and then if we throw out a new idea, like we need to know if it stakes or lands or whatever. And so it's nice. It's really good to get positive feedback.
I think I want to put it out there too. Anyone who listens to the show, please comment on our show and tell us what you think about these segments, and we can share them and pass it on if you want.
Yeah, for sure.
Let Drew and Nolan let them know what you think of how things are progressing. Like, we know Drew listens to us. We can share things. Pagan is in direct contact, obviously, being an intern.
Am I?
Are you? We don't know.
There's a time
I feel like that's a different Pagan.
fluctuation, but it's like the lake house or something.
Yeah,
Like a cat
definitely.
in
It's
the
like the
mail.
lake house. So I'll just put it in the mail, and then 10 years later, they'll actually get it.
Yeah.
This magic time traveling mailbox.
Yeah. It's real.
As much
Keanu
as I
says
love,
it's real.
as much as I love Keanu Reeves, I've never actually seen that movie. And
I've actually never seen it too, but I really want
It's
to.
actually not bad.
Lake
I've
House?
seen,
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
and
I
I've seen
don't
some
know,
of his.
actually.
I've seen some of his like lesser known works, like Johnny Mnemonic.
I love Johnny Mnemonic.
Never
And
seen
I was
like-
actually gonna say
I
that's
don't
like one of my first like favorite Keanu Reeves movies.
Yeah, mine's The Matrix, but
I'm saying
yeah, I mean,
first.
Fair.
Like, it was the movie I saw before The Matrix that I was like, who is this person, this actor, essentially, besides Bill and Ted?
yeah,
back
mine
then.
is Bill and Ted. But that's also my dad's fault.
Fair.
But yeah, it's shit. Never mind, I lost it.
Wow.
Keanu Reeves is great.
Yes.
Moving on. So moving on to the other content that we had this week, we obviously had Get Good and Uncle Noly. Did anybody see Get Good? We might just touch on that before we go.
Yeah, I've watched it. Like the Sunday
Dan's
after.
like, nope.
Yeah.
Dan's face says
I like
all.
it.
Yeah, good.
I haven't been fortunate enough to catch too much of Get Good. I think because of the times.
Fair.
Yeah.
They
Like,
so they obviously do a live stream every Saturday night PST, 5 p.m. PST, which is European time in the
that's-
morning, Sunday morning.
Yeah, that's 8 o'clock at night for me, which
Yeah,
is fine. It's just by then I'm usually
it's
wrapped
a
up in something
3-hour
else.
live stream. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
They do now upload. So they put the stream live on the show, and then they'll take it down after a while, and then they'll just edit it down, and then they'll upload that video
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
YouTube, which will be roughly around 2 hours and a bit long.
yeah.
I mean, have you seen anything from Get Good, and how are you feeling about it? If you haven't seen anything about it, do you still have an opinion? Like, what do you think?
Well, I have seen it, and I really like their humor. They're really great guys with stupid humor, with the shapes and stuff like that, and with
Yep.
the thing like or whatever.
Yeah, the high fives,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, like
yeah.
across
through
the
the Zoom.
screen, like
Yeah.
high five. Or...
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
We did that. We did
stupid
that on the-
humor,
that.
but it does feel a little bit like a different. Like it's not really a retro replay, just because it's like totally different guys.
Mhm.
Okay.
Like just a new part of it, I guess. Like you have Nolan.
And there's
And
nothing
there's
wrong with that.
and then you have Todd and Liam,
Right.
which is fine. I like it anyway, but
Well,
it's very different.
It's part of Retro Replay growing, which, in my opinion, is nothing but good for them to expand and have more.
Yeah.
I mean, I caught a little bit of the Among Us stream. I think it was last week. And I was seconds away from getting in that game, but Ash beat me to it.
Ash.
Twice.
So
Twice,
I missed
Who was Pagan? Sorry, someone was Pagan.
Ash was.
Yeah, no,
Dick
I mean,
move, but whatever.
after
he knows.
like
he
Ash.
knows.
after that first game, I was like, yeah, no, everyone watching right now has already got that code typed in, just waiting, and I was like, I'm not even gonna bother.
No, and like, I mean, it's stream sniping in a way, but at the same time, like, they were playing a private game. Nobody would be able to join them if they didn't stream snipe. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's one or the other. Like, I mean, the public games are strange because like they tried one public game and it was I don't know if they're if whoever was hosting the public game had their settings really, really low, but this one person who was imposter killed pretty much everybody in the first 5 seconds of the game. So it felt like a bit of a hack. So it was just like, what's the point in playing a public game? Because clearly you get different settings.
Yeah,
so
because
it's like,
I was gonna say, because normally people have a delay to the kill option in Among Us, where it's like a 20-second or 30-second or whatever.
Yeah.
So if you played a public game where somebody says there's no delay, you can just kill away.
Just kill everybody, and there's just no fun. So like they got killed in the first 5 seconds, and they're like, oh, what's the point of this? But yeah, so they hopped on a private game, and then they just put the code in chat. And
they didn't really understand how it
playing,
works.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Funniest thing.
No.
So Todd said something like, "Oh, Pagan's in the game," and I wasn't quite listening to what he said just seconds before that. So I was like, "Wait, what did he just say?" And then I typed in chat, and I was like, "Did he just say I'm in the game?" And then someone was like, "Oh, Pagan, yay!" And like in the chat, and I was like, "No. Thank God I'm mod now because my thing is in blue." Yeah. So Drew saw it immediately and was like, and starts laughing, and then Liam and Todd kept going on. It's like, oh, I see what she's doing. And all this, and then like Drew has busted himself laughing, and he's like, "Are you guys paying attention to chat?" Like, because I was like, "It's not me. It's either Aaron or Ash." And Aaron was like, "It's not me," and I was like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "No, it's really not." And I was like, "Okay, well then it's Ash." Like it's one of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. But then he got booted out the first time, and I put in chat, I was like, "If you have the balls to call yourself after me in this game, at least win. Go and win the game." And then he got booted out the first thing. I was like, "Oh, Ash, you let me down." You let me down, buddy.
Ash went into the game as Pagan.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Of course he would.
Of course he did. Of course he did. Yeah, no, it was pretty funny though.
Yeah, I unfortunately did not catch any of this last week's Get Good stream. What I try to do, because the live stream is hard for me to catch as well, usually just being busy. I try to watch the edited, shorter version of it. Yeah. But I wasn't able to do that this week. Been a little too busy, unfortunately. But I do catch their streams when I can, and I do enjoy their content. I think it's good. I do like
the live.
Todd and Liam are great interaction with their live.
It's even more involvement. Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah.
But I love chatting with Liam in his Twitch streams. Like he's always like, "Oh, hey Stark, what's going on, Stark?" Like he's great.
Yeah, no, I actually I got him to give a friend of mine a shout out at work, and that was that dude still has not stopped talking about it.
So nice.
Because he was a big fan of Spartacus. I was watching the stream. I wasn't supposed to be because I was at work, but he just kind of he just kind of popped up behind me. He was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh shit." I'm watching Liam McIntyre on Twitch. He was like, "Who's Liam McIntyre?" And I was like, "You ever seen Spartacus?" He goes, "Oh, I love Spartacus." I'm like, "That's Liam McIntyre. That's Spartacus."
That's him.
And he was like, "Oh, dude, no way, it's cool." And I was like, "Check this out." So I typed in to chat, and I was like, "Hey, do you mind giving my friend a shout out?" And then in true Australian fashion, he goes, "Hello, good day." And he was like, "Oh my god, that's awesome."
Oh man, they're so cute. Like I love Liam and Todd's dynamic. I think it works really well for the show. And the fact that like I understand what you're saying, Lisa, that it doesn't feel so much like Retro Replay. It's a different segment on the channel, which is absolutely fine because they have, they have their own Twitch content, and this is just them having a show on Retro Replay, and then it's just like, hey, if you want to see more, like, go over to the Twitch channels because they stream live on Twitch, and sometimes it actually suits more to Australian time and more to European time. So I actually really enjoy it. I think their content is pretty funny.
I like it. I just wish I can be there for the live stream.
So, dude, it's difficult sometimes, especially like if you're on a replayer Zoom chat the night before, and you're on.
I'm sorry.
Two nights
on
before.
those video nights,
My
like
bad.
2 nights in a row where you're not gonna sleep is difficult to get through. So it's absolutely fine. Don't
We
worry.
only do the movie nights every other Friday.
Yeah, luckily.
That's true. Every other Friday. Luckily, it's like I'm dying here. I haven't slept in 8 days.
Yes, and I'm playing Among Us with you guys. Another night,
Man, Among Us, like community games with Among Us is so funny, and I mean, I thought when they said that they were going to play Among Us on Get Good, I thought they were going to do it the same way we would all do it, like through a Discord chat with private guests, so you could hear, because it's much funnier to try and live over like chat rather than actual typing. So that was kind of like,
they
I
were
was
trying
like,
to do it with the live chat.
No, they did it just in so say they did it in their private game. They would actually go to the chat segment at the top right of the screen, the conversation segment.
Oh, the in-game
they would type
chat.
that way.
Yeah, the in-game thing,
Yeah. So it wasn't at all like through Discord or anything. It was just like in-game chat. And I think like Louise won, right? Louise won at one point. I feel like he did. Like Louise can correct me on that, but he definitely like won a few times, I think, as imposter.
Yeah.
Surprised he hasn't made himself a crown.
Yeah. Maybe he has. We just haven't seen it yet.
I don't know.
Just don't know. I think so. Louise can correct me. But yeah, it was good fun. I just thought that's how they were going to do it. I thought they were going to do it with actual Discord
would
chat.
make much more sense.
A lot funnier.
Yeah.
But they still make everything hilarious. Like, it's the Todd. Like, it's not hard to be funny with those guys. So yeah. The other obviously section that we had this week was Uncle Noly. Regular Uncle Noly advice on Tuesdays. Yes. Anything stood out for you in this episode, guys? Like anything that you want to say about Uncle Noly this week?
I start. No,
yeah, Lisa, go ahead.
Yeah, I start every time. I feel like.
No, it's
Because
fine.
Pagan's not directing the conversation.
It's like raining very heavily, by the way. I don't know
Who
if you hear
cares?
it.
Whatever.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Lisa, go ahead.
Oh, fuck. I can't remember anymore. Oh yeah, no. There was like what I noticed now that people make the jokes for Nolan. I feel like people
They
like
set
they've
him
been
up for
setting
it.
him up.
so stupid questions. Like what was it like? I want your voice in a jar and
pour it over me or
pour it
something.
over me, something like that. I was like, it's so funny and so weird.
But then he went with it. He goes,
That's so weird.
Yeah, exactly. He just has to do that, and then it's already funny.
Well, it was started with like, I don't have a question.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like this is a little different now.
Exactly. So that's kind of what I noticed more and more, that people make jokes for him more.
I would agree. I think like the more questions that come in, the more they're setting him up for a hilarious response.
The mayonnaise thing.
The mayonnaise.
that was a SpongeBob quote.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Is it?
Yeah.
I saw it through the
mayonnaise an
comments.
instrument?
Oh.
Oh, I see.
Something Patrick said.
Yeah.
I love just like the response that was like, "You're stupid. What a stupid question."
Maybe
like,
no one
okay.
knew it's Patrick.
Fair. Maybe.
The ring. And also really like genuine. Like
The genuine answers.
Yeah, he just gives good answers as well. Every time I hear something that I really need to hear, somehow. I don't know why he does that, how he does that, but yeah.
I wonder how he has an answer for every question sometimes. I'm like,
True. Yeah.
I would need a minute to think about that.
Well, I mean, sometimes he doesn't. And that's when you get comments like, "That's a stupid question. You're stupid."
Yeah, maybe that's true. He doesn't need to answer. It's just that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right though, Lisa. Like when he drops in like the golden nuggets of advice, you're just like, Man, this is awesome because I came here for laughs and then you like told me like how to get out of depression or like how to, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you're just like, damn, like thanks, Nolan. Really needed to hear that.
How
shit.
to de-stress, just take a nice bubble bath. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Oh,
And then he
no.
made it in a joke anyway, and then
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he made it awkward.
yeah,
Or you could.
he always makes it awkward. Though.
Well, it's Uncle Noly, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
there has to be a gag somewhere sometimes. Yeah.
I agree with Nolan on the idea that anyone who does their milk before their cereal is a psychopath.
Totally agree.
The only reason you should be pouring cereal into a bowl that already has milk in it is
Is
if
to add
you're
more
starting your
cereal.
second bowl.
Yeah,
Fair.
and
I
there's
mean-
leftover milk from the first bowl, and you just add more cereal to it.
I
I've never-
don't eat cereal, but we have this thing called crucially. I don't know if that's like it's like harder, crunchy
Granola?
cereal.
Oh yeah, it's like
Yeah, something like that.
crunchy.
And I like and
muesli.
it's with chocolate sometimes, and I put warm milk. So I put milk in the microwave, and then I put like the cereal thing in it. So sometimes I do that.
I have done that. I have
Yeah.
actually done that because that's the only time it would be milk first
Michael's
is if you
face
have to
right now.
heat up the milk.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you have to heat up the milk for like on a really cold day when you have, especially like muesli or like, I
Yeah.
don't know, like I mean porridge, not really because you.
That
put
just sounds like
porridge and
oatmeal
that-
to me.
But yeah, but you put both in the microwave. So
Yeah, 'cause,
I would
like,
add, like, I would put porridge in a bowl, then milk, and then add it, and then actually cook it in
You
the
eat
microwave. But-
porridge? That exists still?
what? Yeah, porridge. Do you not eat porridge?
Never.
What is
What?
porridge?
Porridge?
I don't. Oh,
Oh, we
Michael.
lost Michael.
Ah, Michael.
All right.
Michael was just
pause.
like, I've had enough of this.
Stupid cereal talk.
Is he committing to the bit?
Oh
Because
God.
we put milk in our cereals before, like, well, we put milk in
Yeah.
the bowl to
And
heat
he's
it up.
like, "Fuck you
I was
guys."
like, I am no. You guys are psychos. I'm out.
Nope.
Did you just commit to the bit?
No, no, I DC'd.
All right. So no, but seriously though, you've never had porridge.
No.
You've never had porridge, or you
Never.
don't eat porridge now.
I've
I've
never
never
had
had porridge.
porridge. Like, I've only ever heard of porridge in, like, fairy tales.
Yeah, like.
I don't
Goldilocks.
even know what it is.
Wait, hold up. I'm pretty sure porridge is the same as oatmeal.
What's porridge? I'm gonna look it up.
I don't.
Hello, what world did I just pop into? Lisa, Michael, and Dan have no idea what
I know what
porridge
it
is.
is. I know what it is.
Hold on,
What is porridge?
porridge?
It's pop in Dutch.
Oatmeal.
What's it made of?
I'm gonna ask if it's the same as oatmeal because I'm pretty sure it is.
It's I don't know. Like, I don't know the English word for it. Fuck.
Oh no, not really. For oatmeal, the bran is removed from the ground oats, while porridge is in the form isn't the grain to make it. Okay, well, what's the point then? Cornmeal, which is porridge made from corn.
Yeah, it's
Semi-harsh.
oatmeal. I think.
Yeah, porridge made from oats is called oatmeal.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we eat. We eat oatmeal.
But porridge sounds like cornmeal, and cornmeal just sounds like bird feed.
No, porridge is oats. Like it's with rolled oats.
Okay.
So I presume it's the same as oatmeal then.
Okay, so it's similar. All right, we just don't call it porridge then.
What's
Yeah,
the
but
difference
it-
between cream of wheat and grits?
That I don't know for sure. I think grits
Okay.
is made from corn. Cream of wheat
I
is
gotta
made from
I
wheat.
gotta ask something here. What the fuck is grits?
I don't know,
Gross is
my
what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I see this all the time where people are like, "Oh, I have like cheesy grits or something like that," or like grits with like prawn or shrimp in them, and
I
I'm
like
like,
cream of wheat, but I don't like grits. Grits is meh.
What is it?
I don't know.
I've
I'm gonna
never had
Google it
either
now.
one.
Educate us.
Let's find out what grits are.
Grits.
Google away.
Is a porridge made from boiled cornmeal.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's corn, like it's ground
So-
corn.
Corn have been
cornmeal.
treated, blah blah blah. Grits are often served with other flavorings as a breakfast dish. It's a breakfast dish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like oatmeal.
Definitely not like
It's
oatmeal.
kind of like oatmeal is like a
This
sweet
looks
thing
weird.
usually, and then grits is normally more of like a savory.
Oh, this is
And-
more savory stuff. Oh yeah, because I see it. I do see it in a lot of American shows where they're having like a savory breakfast, like eggs or bacon or whatever,
Yeah.
and then there's grits on the side. And I was like, what the fuck is grits and what's in it and why do you put it there? Like,
And
it's
why?
terrible.
It's like oatmeal with far less texture.
Mm.
Oh.
Ugh.
Oh, it looks
Well,
weird.
oatmeal is really nice. We have it here. We call it porridge. It's very nice, and the
Okay.
The point is, like, porridge and milk go in the oven or
The
the
more you
microwave
know.
at the same time. Yeah, the more you know.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're heating cereal milk before you put cereal in because it's you'd like a cold or a hot bowl of cereal. It sounds so fucking weird, I'm sure, to Michael. Michael's like, but yeah, like in the winter time, it's nice to have like warm milk and cornflakes or warm milk and muesli.
Yeah.
And
I feel like we're getting dangerously close to having to rename our show. We talk about fucking food and whatever the hell.
yeah, we always talk about food. Somehow it always
Let's talk
ends
about
up with
more
food.
food.
Yeah. We talked about apples last week.
Apples, clam chowder, soup.
Yeah. All right. Well, look. Let's wrap it up there on food. Let's go get some food right now because I'm sure everybody's hungry. If there's any place that anybody would like to follow you on social media, where can they do so? Lisa.
I don't even know what my Twitter's called. I think Lisa Yellow.
I think you're right.
Because my last name is Yellows, I guess, if you translate it. That's why I'm called Lisa Yellow, by the way.
Oh.
And on Twitch, I don't stream yet, but I'm bed shaked. And
bed-shaked.
Yeah. And
this makes a lot more sense now. Anytime I see you in the stream, I'm like,
Yeah.
Bed shaked.
Okay, so Lisa, it was at Lisa Yellow on
Twitter
and at Bedshaked, BEDSHAKED on Twitch.
Twitch streams to come.
Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to figure it out.
Gotcha.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, true.
In case we see Bedshaked in our Twitch streams.
That's me.
It's Lisa.
Yeah, I saw you pop up, and the last time I was able to catch Dan's stream, and everyone was like, "Hey, Lisa." I'm like, "Is it the same one?"
Yeah,
that's Lisa. That's me.
Lisa.
Nice.
Lisa.
That was funny when you came up and you're like, "Oh, it's Lisa," and I was like, "Oh, it's Lisa," and everyone's like, "Lisa."
Yeah. I've been in your streams before as well. You're like, random person who gives me tips.
Yeah, I've definitely seen you in my streams before, and I was like, I don't recall ever seeing your username on a lot of other things. So either on Retro Replays, memberships or whatever, and I was like, I don't remember seeing the username. And then you're like, oh, it's Lisa, by the way. I was like, oh, this makes so much sense. This makes so much sense. Michael, what about you? Where can we find you?
Twitter and Instagram, both at mptimmons101.
Nice.
And the PSN at mptimmons. The MPT are capital.
All of which we will include in our show notes for people to find below.
Definitely. Yeah, we'll pop them in the show notes below anyway.
If anyone wants to follow you. I, of course, am still Stark Evil Vash. The one and only.
I'm still.
Sorry. And you can follow me on Twitter at StarkyVash. That's Stark E Vash. Flipped it up there a little bit. But it's Stark Evil Vash on Xbox and PlayStation. And I have a YouTube. I also have Twitch. And also Deadpan Gaming on YouTube and Facebook. I'm done now.
Nice. And scene.
Whole list.
You can find me at Pagan_plays on Twitter and Twitch, and at Pagan Plays on YouTube, and at Pagan Plays with no space between on Twitter. I also wanted to point out that this coming next weekend, 24th of October, our friend and fellow replayer Andrew is doing a charity stream to help raise money and awareness for sudden cardiac arrest. And it's an important cause to him, and I mean, I'm sure he will go through all that on his stream. The stream will be from noon till 6 p.m. EST. So that's like, where is that? Like your East Coast, America?
It's East Coast.
Yeah.
It's a 6-hour difference to the UK. So it's a 6-hour gap to BST.
5-hour difference.
5 hour. I'm sorry. I'm thinking my time is 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's 5-hour difference. So noon is
so 5
let's start
p.m.
at 5
to 11 p.m. your time.
Yeah, that's it. So noon to 6 p.m. EST, and they'll be playing Overcooked 2, Dead by Daylight, and Phasmophobia, and maybe some more games, so feel free to go check that out. There's also a Replayer Extra Life team. Replayers who are interested in joining this Extra Life team can actually contact Stephanie Watson, who is at StephanieDoesVO on Twitter. So feel free to contact Stephanie about doing another charity stream for Extra Life. Yeah, just feel free. If you guys have any interest in any of these charity streams, please pop myself or Dan a link in, a DM out in Twitter or on the show notes or anything. So absolutely fine. Yeah, and finally, I mean, thank you so much to Retro Replay, and thank you for everybody who works there for all that you do, because without you, this podcast would not exist. What else do I need to say? Oh yeah, find us on Twitter and Facebook, and we upload every single Wednesday. We're usually at the Replayer Podcast, so
Hosting
feel
is
free to
hard.
pop up here. Whole thing is hard. Also, if you have any questions or suggestions about the show, feel free to send them into the replayerpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Michael, for joining us today.
Thank you both.
Yes.
Thanks,
Thank you for having
everybody.
me.
Peace out.
Always
Game over.
fun.
Bye.
It is fun. Game over.
It is fun.
Well, it's sometimes.
Sometimes.
It's always fun.
Sometimes
always
it's
good fun.
painful.